So today I want to talk about learning how to remove tension from your body and improving posture. This exercise has been helping me improve my posture and my technique. And I've been using this technique in yoga classes and in dance classes and with Janine in her Alexandra technique clown classes. So this can be found in many different types of movement classes in which you are looking to be aware of your body. And being aware of your body is actually the most fundamental rule of contact juggling. Otherwise, your contact juggling tends to look like you don't know where your body is in space. So it's really important to do this kind of practice or some kind of Tai Chi so that you can achieve a level of posture and balance within your own body. First thing I do is I get on the floor and I lie down and I adjust as necessary to make sure I'm as straight as possible. I make sure I'm breathing well and I try to feel as balanced as I possibly can with my knees bent and my back straight on the floor. Once I've gotten comfortable and in a nice position, I tend to try and breathe in and out, and I start going through my body piece by piece and relieving tension in each individual part. I keep my eyes open so that I'm aware of my surroundings at all times. And each day this feels different, but I always start with the feet. I start trying to relieve tension in each individual toe and start feeling how they're connected to my foot and the soles of my feet. I think about the soles of my feet and I relieve the tension in my soles and in my heels. Then I think about my feet as a whole and how they're attached to my ankles and what in my foot moves my ankle. As I go up and relieve tension, I start thinking about the front of my calves, the backs of my calves, and the connection between my ankle and my foot, and how they all are connected together. I breathe out and I try to release any tension that I might be holding in these parts of my body. I move up towards my knees. Once the tension in my calves is gone, I think about the connections from my knees to my calves and how my knees move my calves and where they move them from, and if I'm holding any tension in that part. I think about the front of my knees and the backs of my knees and how they're different and if they're balanced and holding themselves up on their own. If I'm holding any tension, this exercise tends to not work as well, and so I need to be totally balanced. I start going up towards my thighs, feeling the connection in my knees into my thighs and in the backs of my thighs. These are huge muscle groups, so I usually spend a little bit more time here, really trying to work out each individual muscle and how much tension I'm holding. The biggest part is actually my hips, as there's a lot of tension in the pelvic floor and the connections between my quadriceps and my pelvic muscles and my glutes. Trying to balance this is imperative since this is where most of my balance will come from when I'm standing. I try and think about my lower back and my tailbone and all of this as a group, and then I piece it out individually. I go into my belly button and my abs, as well as my intercostal muscles and my ribs, feeling all of my back, shoulders, and my whole body as a whole. As you can see, I start lifting up my arms. In this exercise, I try to make sure that I'm using as little muscle as possible. I imagine that my fingertips are being pulled towards the sky on their own, trying to relieve all tension from my hands, my wrists, my forearms, and my elbows, and my back. Of course, I have to use muscles in order to lift my arms, but I want to focus only on that in which I need. Using only what's necessary, I lift my arms towards each other, slowly and in a controlled way, being aware of exactly each movement and how it feels as they lift up. I do this until they touch. Once they touch, I take a moment to feel which muscles I'm using and which muscles I'm letting go of. And then again, I start to release, slowly and controlled, trying to keep my pacing of my arms still as they move towards the ground again. Again, we're only using what is necessary and trying to make sure that the tension in the rest of my body is totally null. That we only use exactly what we need in every movement that we make. Slowly, my shoulders and my arms start to return to the floor. My elbows touch, and I return my forearms to the floor. As I do this, I notice the tension from my shoulders and my back release, as I only need my forearms at this point, my biceps, to keep my arms off the floor. I slowly release those biceps as well as my wrists touch. I focus just on the forearms as I slowly release my hands back into an easy position. Once I've done this, I actually notice that I tend to be a little too high in my chest, and so I often adjust just a little bit to take my shoulders away from my ears. In this, I often find my collarbone releases and my chest releases, and that I can find more space in the front of my body, being able to release some of the deeper tensions that I hold. Here I also tend to focus on my jaw and my breathing and my mouth and my tongue, trying to release everything in my face and my neck as a part of the whole. If I can, I try to do this for 20 minutes. Here I've done it quite quickly, but once you're done, we want to roll over again, only using what's necessary, slowly getting up from the side of your body, trying to do it as gracefully as possible until we're able to just sit on our knees. On my knees, I tend to go through and scan my body once again. Once I've done my scan on my knees, I slowly and intentionally stand up, being cautious to remember to scan my body once again in a balanced position. I feel my feet on the floor. I breathe. I feel my feet on the floor. I feel connected to the ground. I feel my ankles and my knees and my hips and how they're all stacked underneath me. I adjust as necessary to feel my own balance, to balance in the best way I can, without using anything that's unnecessary for standing. I think about my breath and I think about my hips and just feel very basic movements in my body. I slowly go from the base of my spine and up my back, and again I try and release tension, as I usually find it's returned when I'm standing. I adjust my shoulders and my hips. I feel my upper body moving on my lower body slowly as I start to understand exactly where my body is most comfortable. I try to breathe and make my body the most relaxed it can be while standing. At the very end, I feel my head and neck. After I've done a body scan, I tend to walk around, feeling my body in motion, doing the scan while I am walking. My room here is not very large, so I don't have a lot of ability for movement. Perhaps that's another video. Thanks for watching.